Hello students, we are discussing about tax-free incomes under section 10. In the previous session we discussed about leave travel concession under section 10 subsection 5 and foreign allowance and perquisites under section 10 subsection 7. In this session let us discuss about death cum retirement gratuity under section 10 subsection 10. Death cum retirement gratuity is an amount paid to an employee on his retirement or to his family on his death. The employer considers the length of service of the employee for the payment of gratuity amount. And a person must complete minimum 5 years of service in an organization. Here, death cum retirement gratuity is an amount payable by the employer to the employee on his retirement or to his family on his death. Here, the employer considers the length of service of an employee in his organization for the payment of gratuity amount. A person must complete minimum of 5 years in an organization to get this benefit. The gratuity payable depends on two factors. They are last drawn salary and years of service. That means to calculate the amount of gratuity payable to an employee, employer considers two factors. They are last salary drawn before his death or before his retirement and number of years of service in his organization to calculate the gratuity amount. And the rules and regulations relating to this calculation of gratuity amount is mentioned in Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. The exemption limit of gratuity is mentioned under section 10 subsection 10 of Income Tax Act, and for this purpose the employees can be classified into two categories. They are government employees and non-government employees. As per section 10 subsection 10 clause 1, gratuity received by all government employees and local authority exempted from tax. Here, gratuity received by all government employees is entirely exempted from tax. But under non-government employees, there are some conditions to receive this benefit, that is exemption. For this purpose, non-government employees can be classified into two categories by Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. They are non-government employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972 and non-government employees not covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. Here, for both these employees, that is covered by Payment of Gratuity Act and not covered by Payment of Gratuity Act, the rules for calculation of gratuity is different. Let us discuss about that. First, let us discuss about the rules and regulations relating to calculation of gratuity of non-government employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. As per section 10 subsection 10 clause 2, any gratuity received is exempt up to the least of the following. Here there are three conditions. Out of these three conditions, which is least, they have to consider that income for exemption. First one is 15 days salary or 7 days salary for seasonal employment. multiplied by number of years of service, that is 15 days salary into number of years of service, or maximum amount specified, that is 20 lakhs, or gratuity actually received by the employee from the employer. Whichever is less, they have to consider that amount for exemption. And we have to solve some problems relating to this type of problem. There are some notes relating to these three rules. See the notes here. First one, in case of employees of a seasonal establishment, only 7 days salary will be taken into consideration instead of 15 days salary. Here seasonal establishment means the companies which are producing products or manufacturing products which are seasonal in nature. For example, if a company is manufacturing only raincoats, they are seasonal because here only rainy season they are manufacturing raincoats, like that. Only 7 days salary will be taken into consideration instead of 15 days salary. Second one is 15 days salary is equal to salary last drawn into 15 divided by 26. 15 days salary is calculated on this basis, that is salary last drawn, that is before death or before retirement, last month's salary, and 15, that is number of days to be considered, divided by 26. Here 26 means number of working days in a month, because working days are considered as days except Sundays. Here except Sundays in a month there is on an average 26 days. That is why 26 days you have to consider. See the next one. Salary for this purpose will include basic salary, dearness allowance only. Items other than basic salary and dearness allowance are not considered. Here for salary purpose, that is for the calculation of 15 days salary, only basic and DA, that is dearness allowance, can be considered. Any item which is included in salary except these two, for example your TA or refreshment allowance, like that, any other expense they cannot consider for the calculation of gratuity amount. Next, see, in case of piece rate employees, that is daily wages, on the basis of daily wages, 15 days salary will be computed on the basis of average of total wages excluding overtime wages received for a period of 3 months immediately preceding the termination of his service. In case of piece rated employee, 15 days salary is considered by considering average salary of 3 months immediately preceding the termination of his service. That is immediately preceding 3 months of his termination have to be considered for calculation of gratuity amount. Next, see fifth one. Part of the year in excess of 6 months shall be taken as one full year. For example, if he is working in an organization for 5 years 7 months, you have to consider that 5 years 7 months as 6 years, because here excess of 6 months is there. That is why if there is only 6 months, you have to consider it as 6 years. If there is 4 months, you have to consider it as 5 years only. You cannot consider month for this purpose. You have to round up that months to one full year. That is the fifth point here relating to calculation of gratuity amount of non-government employees covered under Payment of Gratuity Act. It is the format of computation of gratuity amount, that is taxable gratuity amount. See the format here. First you have to write a sum of gratuity received from that you have to deduct least of the following, that is actual gratuity amount received or last salary, that is basic plus DA into number of years of employment into 15/26, service or part thereof in excess of 6 months. Here number of years, if you are serving for 5 years 9 months, you have to consider it as 6 years, like that they are given here, or maximum limit of 20 lakhs, whichever is less you have to deduct from sum of gratuity received. That amount, that balance amount is known as taxable amount of gratuity. So here non-government employees gratuity is not fully exempted. A part of their gratuity amount is taxable. That taxable gratuity amount is calculated on the basis of these rules. Okay. Next, let us discuss about non-government employees not covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. As per section 10 subsection 10 clause 3 of Gratuity Act, the gratuity received by the employee or by his widow, children or dependent on his death up to least of the following. Here on the retirement, the amount of gratuity received by the employee or on his death, the amount received by the widow, children or his dependent parents is calculated on the basis of these rules. Least of these three they have to consider for exemption or to calculate the taxable gratuity amount. The following three rules are as follows. See, first one, actual gratuity received. Second one, rupees 10 lakhs, or and third one, half, that is 50% of completed years of service into average salary per month. This one is not 8, this is multiplied by. Okay, here three amounts you have to consider for calculation of taxable gratuity is actual gratuity received or 10 lakhs or half of completed years of service multiplied by average salary per month. See the notes here relating to this. In this list of the following you have to consider. See the notes. While calculating completed years of service, ignore any fraction of the year. That means if there is any fraction of years, for example 5 years 9 months, you have to consider it as 5 years only. But in the previous case, if there is 5 years 9 months, you are considering it as 6 years. But under not covered by Gratuity Act, the years of service of the employee is considered as here 5 years only. Here fraction of years must be ignored. Second one, average salary here means basic plus DA plus a commission being a fixed percentage on a turnover. Here salary means basic plus DA plus commission, that is fixed amount of commission being last 10 months average salary. Here they are not considering the whole year's salary, but here they are considering 10 months average salary immediately preceding the month of retirement. Next point is, if DA is not forming a part of retirement benefit, then the same shall not be included in the salary for the above purpose. However, DA itself shall be fully taxable. If dearness allowance is not forming a part of retirement benefit, they are not considering DA for this purpose, then DA is not included in the salary amount. You will come to know about these points while solving the problem. So, let us discuss about that while solving the problem only for the better understanding. Next, see the next point. The hike of maximum limit to 20 lakhs is not applicable for employees not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act. This hike of 20 lakhs is not applicable to this group of employees. It is relatable only to the employees covered under Payment of Gratuity Act. That is why under employees who are not covered under Gratuity Act, the maximum limit is 10 lakhs and not 20 lakhs. Remember this difference, it is very important. And in this case, computation of taxable gratuity will be done in the following manner. Let us see the format of calculation of gratuity amount. See, sum of gratuity received, from that you have to deduct least of the following, that is actual amount of gratuity received or half month's average salary into number of years, that is full years of completed service. If there is any month, you have to ignore that months, or maximum limit of 10 lakhs, whichever is less you have to consider for the calculation of gratuity amount. Least of the following you have to deduct. So this is about death cum retirement gratuity. Let us solve some problems relating to this computation of gratuity in the next session. Thank you. Let us meet in the next session.